Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Donny van de Beek has suffered another setback in his career. He was an unused substitute in Netherlands 4-2 defeat to Turkey in Istanbul. Now the Netherlands boss backs Van de Beek to be a success at Manchester United. Now, Mark Hughes was talking about Van de Beek recently, and he says that Van de Beek looks lost at Manchester United and he's edging closer to a Man United exit. Now, not so long ago, it says that Donny van de Beek feels loved at Manchester United despite his lack of game time. Prior to that, he says Donny van de Beek has threatened to quit Man United after one season due to his lack of game time, and he wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward regarding his future. Now, earlier on this season, Ollie made an admission saying that Van de Beek is unhappy at the club due to his lack of game time, but he actually promised him more game time at Manchester United. Van de Beek not so long ago has just come back from injury. He did start in the Leicester game. He was quiet in that game, but he did play a part in Mason Greenwood's goal. He was a very, very good dummy from Van de Beek. Reports said from ESPN back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van de Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. I think it was January that Ronald de Boer urged him to leave to boost his chances for the Euros. But yeah, there's a good chance he's going to leave in the summer transfer window. He's a good player though, Van de Beek. We just don't use him enough. We got him in a deal worth £40 million and he's under contract with Man United until 2025, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. At Ajax, he was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. He can play as a number 10 and you can put him out wide. And recent narratives said we could use Donny van de Beek in a swap deal with Borussia Dortmund. Donny van de Beek is key in the Jadon Sancho deal. There's also been talks saying that we're interested in a swap deal with Donny van de Beek and Erling Haaland. Now, I want to delve into some news on Paul Pogba. So, according to reliable journalist Fabrizio Romano, Man United may face a threat from Juventus for Paul Pogba. Juventus are refusing to give up on re-signing Paul Pogba. Now, there's a good chance that Paul Pogba will go back to Juventus if he leaves Man United in the summer transfer window. Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. Reports from the Italian press came out a while ago and said that Juventus tried to offer us 4 players in exchange for Paul Pogba. He's also been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid, and PSG have been in for him, so he has had a long-running transfer saga. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he's hopeful that Paul Pogba will sign a new contract at the football club. We have been in talks over getting Paul Pogba a new contract, but as far as I'm aware at the moment, we have not yet made a formal contract offer. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. Mini Oriola, he's desperate to get his client out of the football club. He said though earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season at Man United, and he made an admission saying that he was working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence, because Raiola doesn't have a good relationship with the club and he's been criticised a lot. And he made the announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Now, Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother, he gave us an update on Paul Pogba's future earlier on this season, and he actually advised us to sell him in the summer transfer window because he said there's a good chance he will leave for nothing next year, and he said he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. We have been getting the best out of Pogba in recent months, and obviously delivered the goods in Milan, came on and scored the goal and made an instant impact. Pogba has just come back from a thigh injury. He had an ankle injury earlier on this season. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So he's sustained a few injuries now at Man United. We need to keep Paul Pogba on that left wing, in more of an advanced role because that's where he's more effective. But he is our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. And this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Man United are going to sell quite a few players in the summer transfer window. There's a lot of Man United fans that are saying we need to sell Anthony Martial. He's no longer good enough to represent the club, and he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. He's had chances, but he hasn't converted them. But earlier on this season, Solskjaer said he's backing Martial to rediscover his form, and he said he's been impressed with his work rate. If we sell Martial in the summer transfer window, I reckon we'll get around £30 million. We got Martial for around £54 million from Monaco back in 2015. I think he's had 2 good seasons. He was good last season and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial has been at the club over 5 years. I think it was last season Solskjaer gave him that number 9 shirt, but the club are ready to sell him. Edinson Cavani, I think there's a very good chance he's going to leave in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer said that he's actually closer to leaving Man United than staying. Football Insider said not so long ago that Cavani has reached a verbal agreement to join Boca Juniors at the end of the season. We sell him in the summer transfer window, we won't receive a transfer fee because his current contract expires in June, but we have an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Now, Solskjaer said he's hopeful that Cavani will stay, and he's revealed that Man United have been in contract discussions with Cavani. His father came out a few weeks ago and said that Cavani is unhappy and he doesn't feel comfortable in England and he wants to leave. And reports in Argentina said earlier on this season that Cavani's decided to leave the club after 1 season. Cavani's had a few injuries at Man United, but I think he's made an impact since he's come in. We got him on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. But Cavani's hold-up play is good, his movement in and out of the box is good, he can create chances and he can score goals. Good chance we're going to sell Juan Mata in the summer transfer window because Juan Mata doesn't get in our 11, and plus Juan Mata has now lost that yard of pace. Juan Mata's current contract expires in June, but we do have an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Earlier on this season, he rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. But Mata's had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club over 6 years. He's made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored 50 goals. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. There's a good chance we're going to sell Nemanja Matic in the summer transfer window because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances, does Matic. And I've always had my strong reservations about him because he's always been a slow player. He's had some good games at Man United, but I think the vast majority of the games he's been very inconsistent. He's always been a slow player. And you can say the club made a mistake by giving him the new 3-year contract. Matic has been at the club almost 4 years. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Fred, do you think there's a chance we'll sell him in the summer transfer window? Phil Jones, I'm expecting him to leave because Phil Jones doesn't get in our 11. Jones has always been inconsistent. Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and this is his 10th season at the club. So he's been a long servant. Jones has been out of injury for over a year. Romero, I'm expecting him to go. Because he's now our third or fourth choice goalkeeper. Do you think we could sell Eric Bay? I wanted to keep Bay potentially past the summer because he's a good centre-half. Now, Eric Bay has recently apologised to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his Man United teammates for his disrespectful behaviour because he said Bay was furious with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he felt disrespected and not wanted by him. And Bay believes we're only offering him a new contract to simply increase his asking price. Bay has, 15 months left on his current contract. And De Gea, I think we should sell him in the summer transfer window. Because I reckon that De Gea has had his years at Manchester United, and we sell De Gea, then obviously Dean Henderson will be our first choice goalkeeper. De Gea, this is his 10th season at Man United. He has been a long servant. He's won everything domestically at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances in all competitions. A few years ago, was certainly the best goalkeeper in the world, but in the last couple of years, he's made calamitous mistakes. So reflecting on that, he's become a liability. De Gea has, 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week. And I think we'll be looking to get rid of Lingard permanently, and we'll be also looking to get rid of Diego Dalot permanently. So we sell all them players, will generate a substantial amount, and it will help us with our rebuilding process. But yeah, in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window. There's been a lot of players on our agenda. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would love to sign Erling Haaland. And I'd love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to sign Erling Haaland, and so too would a lot of Manchester United fans. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer keeps calling Erling Haaland to persuade him to join Manchester United. And he said prior to that we've got an advantage in the Erling Haaland transfer chase. But he said that we'd suffered a blow alongside Chelsea because he said Erling Haaland to Real Madrid is practically done. Now, Solskjaer worked with Erling Haaland at Molde. Solskjaer gave him his debut at just the age of 16. And earlier on this season, Solskjaer said he was following Erling Haaland's progress, and he said he's keeping in touch with Erling Haaland. And back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Dortmund are demanding in the excess of £100 million. He has a £70 million release clause, but it doesn't become active until next year. I can assure Haaland will leave Dortmund if Dortmund fail to qualify for the Champions League. Erling Haaland has been at Dortmund around 16 months now. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him, and he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. I'd love us to sign him. Now, Declan Rice, I'd love Man United to sign him. Now, it said not so long ago that Solskjaer agreed with the new recruitment team that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. Main explanations I'd take him is because he dramatically improves. He's well proven in the Premier League. He's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. So this is why. We're seeing Declan Rice as a long-term replacement for Nemanja Matic. But his performances for West Ham have been outstanding. Rafael Varan. Now, he's been on our agenda. Now, it's looking very likely that he's going to be leaving Real Madrid. Mundo Deportivo have already said that Rafael Varan's future is in doubt with Real Madrid and he's high on our transfer wish list. I think he's valued at 60 odd million. Now, back in 2018, Woodward was prepared to sanction a £100 million move for Rafael Varan. But yeah, he'd complement Harry Maguire in our backline. He's a world-class centre-half and he's highly experienced. He's 27 years of age. Hasn't played in the Premier League yet, but would certainly exceed expectations if he comes to the Premier League. Our two top defensive targets are actually Jules Koundé from Sevilla and Pau Torres from Villarreal. Now, there's been narratives coming out regarding Pau Torres saying that he's interested in coming to Manchester United. We could be ready to launch a bid. Now, he's available for £52 million at the end of the season because that's his release clause. We believe, though, we can get him for less than his £52 million release clause, especially if Villarreal fail to qualify for Europe. Nikola Milenkovic from Fiorentina now, he's been another player on our agenda. But like I've said, this year's summer transfer window is huge for Manchester United and Ole. It's very imperative that we get the right players in, but I think there's a very, very good chance that Solskjaer will get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window. Because Woodward did a statement not so long ago saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. So in that aspect, Woodward is backing him. And towards the end of last year, Woodward come out and showed his support a lot for Ole. And even when we was enjoying them bad periods, he assured that Solskjaer's job was safe. Like I said, our board have got a soft stance on Ole, with him being a legend of the club. And plus, we've got John Murtough. He's our director of football. He's our first ever director of football, by the way. And it was the right decision from the club getting a director of football in, because I said that's one of the structural changes that we need at the club. And John Murtough knows the club inside out because he's been at Man United a good 7 years now. He's been with us since 2014, and obviously Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director, and Darren Fletcher knows the club through thick and thin. Endured 2 decades as a player for Manchester United. Our transfer budget for the summer transfer window has already been revealed. It is £80 million. £80 million is obviously not enough for us to get the players that we want in. So obviously Solskjaer's planning to sell at least 4 players to bolster our transfer budget. And he's hoping to raise as much as £60 million. So that'd take our transfer budget to £140 million. Now, like I updated you on my last video, a new contract for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is done. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is set to be awarded a new 3-year contract worth £10 million a year, not 9, £10 million a year, sorry. even if we fail to win a trophy, because Woodward believes Ole is the man to lead the club in the right direction. Sources said at Old Trafford the other week that talks are set to begin any day on the new deal, because Ole is now into the final year of his current 3-year contract. Obviously, Solskjaer signed a 3-year contract back in March 2019 when he got the job permanently. So yeah, looks like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be here next season. If he's here next season, which I think he will be, it will be his 3rd full season. You know, this is his 2nd full season at the moment. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say not so long ago that winning trophies is an ego thing. And he said it in regards to some other clubs and some other managers. He says, clubs like Man United, trophies no longer prove success. We've not yet won a trophy under Ole, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. And that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Our only chance of any silverware this season is the Europa League. I think we actually are the favourites to win the Europa League. Danny Murphy recently come out and said that Man United must win the Europa League to avoid Solskjaer getting sacked, because Murphy believes Solskjaer will be sacked if Man United fail to win the Europa League. He believes just a top 4 finish isn't good enough. But yeah, Solskjaer isn't the long-term manager for Man United. You know, I can assure that right now, because there is a lot of Manchester United fans that are demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the club. You know, Ole out has been trending on social media after the 3-1 loss to Leicester in the FA Cup quarter-final. Obviously, a lot of fans who want him out have got main explanations behind why they want him out. But when we are inconsistent, not all of the blame stems from him. There's probably certain players in that have got to take responsibility. But Ole has been Manchester United manager over 2 years, so reflecting now on he's been at the club, he has gained some managerial experience. And we love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Manchester United. But like I've said in regards to Solskjaer as a manager, he hasn't got that big club arrogance and he hasn't got a proven pedigree. And I think he's in a position that he shouldn't be really in, and you can probably pinpoint out that the club did give Solskjaer the job too soon. Maybe we should have waited until the end of that particular season to decide or not whether to give him the job. But we're giving the job permanently, reflects on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager, because he won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. I've probably got to say he's our best manager since Ferguson, because we have enjoyed very good periods under Ole where we have seen consistency, and some of them good periods he's got the best out of the team and he's improved certain players. The main reason I think Solskjaer is still Man United manager is because he's a club legend. That's what's basically saved him. You know, disregarding him being a club legend, I don't think he'd have been here now. Solskjaer has spent almost £300 million as Manchester United manager, and so far he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. And he has made some good signings, but hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in as yet. And in that aspect, the blame stems from the board. The board's been one of the biggest issues at the club for a while. He did well last season in his first full season, guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. This season got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. He got us to the FA Cup quarter-final, and he's got us to the Europa League quarter-final. We're unbeaten in our last 22 Premier League away games. We was unbeaten in 28 in all competitions until Leicester had beaten us. You know, we're 2nd in the Premier League. At one point, Solskjaer got us top of the Premier League for the first time in 8 years. But there was a period where we dropped too many points. So that's why we're no longer in the title race. And he's got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. So we've got to credit him for all this. I can assure we will finish in the top 4 this season. That will happen. I said I assured we'll finish in the top 4, after that 1-0 win against West Ham in the Premier League. But if we finish second in the league this season and win a trophy, I think that'll represent a good season for Man United. Then that'll give us something to build on going on into next season. If it's just second without a trophy, then obviously that won't be as good. But yeah, sacking Solskjaer won't really solve anything. And obviously, as far as I'm aware at the moment, no one is available to come in and replace him. But I think we need a bigger name. We need a manager with a proven pedigree, a manager that will suit the strappings of the club, a manager that can bring the right players in, and all of that. But it's just been an ongoing cycle of inconsistency with Man United in the last 8 years. Nothing's changed, despite us sacking managers. Despite us overpaying for players, despite us spending over £1 billion in the last 8 years, still nothing has changed. So there you go. Now, I will be doing a video later on. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.